Andrew Kayiira was killed in my house on the 3rd of May in 1987. They cheated Ugandans by bringing Scotland Yard, a very, very respectable police force in the world. They brought them to Uganda. They did their research. They came back to England. They interviewed myself and my wife. And they had a report which they failed to produce. British Scotland Yard failed to produce that report until a lot of people came around and said, hang on a minute, what happened to that report? British Scotland Yard interviewed myself, my wife. We spent over 5 hours at Scotland Yard in London. But they could not produce a report. And when the law was passed here that you could write actually to the police to ask them under a law that was passed for freedom of information, I wrote a letter to them and they wrote back to me and they said, we are sorry, we cannot produce that report because we do not want to endanger our relationship with Uganda. That is the report. That was the answer that Scotland Yard, the most respectable police force in the world, gave me. Then no, we could not. Now, when people said, oh, there's a report that has been produced, that's a fake report. If Scotland Yard itself told me, wrote to me and said, I wrote to them and said, I want a report under the Freedom of Information Act. And I said, we cannot produce it to you because we do not want to endanger British relationship with Uganda. What else do Ugandans think that once Museveni saw that, what do you think he has done? Museveni has gone on to kill so many people. This recent killing, my friends, Baganda Bang, Banayuganda Banange, Wandugu Zangoni, Musikie. This is not the first or last killing. People who have worked with Yoweri Museveni have died. They've been investigated. We're going to put up an investigation. I interviewed Brigadier Mayombo here in London. We sat in a hotel for 5 hours with Brigadier Mayombo. Very articulate young man. Very articulate. We sat for over 5 hours in a hotel here in London. He told me so many things. What happened to Mayombo? Where is he now? Does anybody remember where Mayombo is? Was there, did Museveni say that he was going to hold an investigation on who killed Mayombo, how he died? Do I have to keep talking about how many people Museveni has killed and say that, oh, we're going to make an investigation? Of course, there will never be any investigation whatsoever. As far as, let anybody come and tell me that there's been an investigation that the Ugandan police has carried out with the help of Western countries that has come to flute and say, there is a result. None. You see, we who live here, who have been sort of privileged to be able to be given the right to live in this country, we're now British citizens. We're being let down by this very government, the British, the King's government, that cannot dare question the killings in countries like Uganda and others.